Every dry season, this pool gets a little smaller. Not everything trapped inside it finds its way back out. By now, this pool is cut off completely, the last remnant of a river that used to run straight through here. Everything trapped inside it is playing the same game. Survive until the rains return. One resident has been playing that game longer than most. Almost 2 meters of muscle, coiled low against the silt, barely moving. It hasn't needed its eyes in years, and in water this dark, they were never going to help much anyway. It breathes air, not water. Every few minutes it has to rise, break the surface, and expose itself completely, just to keep going. In a pool this size, that's not a small risk anymore. It's a repeated one. So how does something that can barely see hunt at all? It builds its own picture of the world out of electricity. Weak pulses, barely 10 volts, fired constantly into the water, not to harm anything, to read it. Every fish, every obstruction, every ripple bends that field just slightly, and the eel feels the distortion, like a shape moving through the dark. It's a remarkable sense. But finding a meal and catching one are two very different problems. Out here, prey is fast, and this hunter was never built for speed. So evolution gave it something else instead. Not a faster body, a weapon, one capable in the most powerful individuals ever measured, of producing 860 volts. A small fish, close to the bank. Unaware, the eel doesn't need to be fast. It only needs to be close. What happens next isn't a bite. It's a takeover. A rapid volley of high-voltage pulses fires directly into the water. And they don't just stun the fish's body, they hijack it. Its own nerves fire the signal to lock rigid, muscles obeying a command that was never theirs to begin with. For a moment, this animal isn't swimming, and it isn't fleeing. It's being operated like a puppet by something it never saw coming. Then, the water goes still, and the eel simply closes the distance. But the pool keeps shrinking, and a shrinking pool has a way of forcing enemies together. Something far bigger has come to test the shallows. A capybara. The largest rodent on Earth, wading in to drink. Entirely unaware of what's coiled beneath the surface film. For the first time in this story, the eel is not the biggest problem in the water. It's nearly blind, exposed, and cornered in water barely deep enough to cover it. There's nowhere left to retreat to. Contact. The capybara pulls back, startled, not seriously hurt, but it won't test these shallows again today. For the eel, none of this is new. Over 200 years ago, a naturalist reported watching wild horses driven into a pond much like this one, and eels rising up out of the water to strike them. For 2 centuries, most scientists doubted him. They were wrong, and there's still a piece of this story no one has fully explained. Exactly how an animal capable of a shock, that powerful never once shocks itself. The rains are still weeks away. This pool will shrink further before it fills again. But tonight at least, the smallest, blindest thing living in it has just reminded everything bigger than itself exactly why it's still here.